Hello everyone. The topic I want to cover today was build orders. And the first thing I want to stress before we continue on in this video is that build orders will not win you games. I've seen people on forums, things like that, they're like, oh, I'm losing to Protoss. Can I have a build order? No, man. Focus on your fundamentals. Build orders are just like a little add-on. Build orders are the style, how you're going to play this game out. And for me, I wanted a build that I could safely expand versus Protoss, and the way I start off my build is I think, okay, what race am I going to play? I mean, pretty obvious, this one is Protoss. So I'm like, okay, now what do I want to achieve with this build? And then I thought, I want to get a safe command center that I can stop any sort of 4-gate, things like that, 3-gate. So I thought of one racks, one factory, into a command center, and they can just float it out, and you have siege tanks and marines defending your expansion. So one thing to note about builds is you want to be making your production buildings, or any building, the second you have enough money. So you see, when I hit that 150, I made that barracks. Now in my builds, I'm very economy oriented, so I don't like to stop making those SCVs. So I know that if I'm constantly making SCVs and I have enough money, I can throw it down and build it, and that refinery gets made. So far we have the 10 supply depot, 12 barracks, and 14 gas. Now there's obviously little quirks in your builds that you want to note, and one of them, I mean, this is pretty standard, but you know that if you're constantly making SCVs and all you have is just made a barracks and a refinery, the second that barracks gets finished, your SCV should be about done too, or it gets done earlier, and you can morph that into an orbital command and throw down a marine to deny any early well, not early scouting, but any extra scouting, or shoot your gas if they try to gas steal you. So we know that roughly when your barracks is finished, their gateway is done too, and that cyber has just started. So let's learn a little timing to note. We can say that roughly at 3:45 that cyber is done. Now let's say the zealot was not being produced. It takes 42 seconds for a stalker to be made, and it takes 40 seconds for a bunker to be made. Plus, we know that the travel time from top to bottom is, I don't know, a good 30 seconds. Maybe less for a stalker because they're pretty fast. But what we know is that stalker can easily kill marines, and I don't want to be losing marines, especially this early in the game. So I know that I should be throwing that bunker roughly 3:45, to 3:55. So that time the stalker gets here, he can't get any free marines because they're safely tucked inside that bunker, and they'll just blast him if he tries to come up my ramp. Especially, if he tries a 3-gate or whatever, he will get destroyed. So, obviously we weren't here when this factory was made, but roughly when I got to 100 gas, I had also 150 minerals, and I was able to throw that factory down. Now, you don't want to stop SCV production unless it is part of your build, in which case your build is probably some sort of cheese. This, however, is not. It's a safe, macro-oriented build. And another little quirk I came up with was I should roughly have 4 marines the second that bunker's finished. So I stuff them in there, and then I'm safe. I can throw down a reactor, and I can also throw down a tech lab to make those siege tanks. And I know siege tanks are pretty damn expensive gas-wise, so I'm going to need that second refinery, because 2 refineries will get you about 200 gas per minute. So, those still aren't in the bunker. Bad idea, but they will eventually. Now, another little quirk that I know for this build that I didn't realize the first time I tried it. But the second, let's back up for a second. But the second I try to make that command center, because I've been saving up. I've been making, you know, uh, my units, my SCVs. But the thing is, I didn't realize the first time I made this. The second I tried to throw down that command center, I would get supply blocked. So what I needed to do was, when these tech labs and this reactor is being made, I need to make 2 supply depots in this build, so I didn't get supply blocked once I was saving up for that 14 command center, or sorry, not 14 command center, my command center, so I can A, make that command center, and B, keep making units. And then, that's little quirks you want to fine tune from your build. Because see here, that command center comes down. If I hadn't made that extra supply depot, I'd be at 35 out of 35. And then I'd kind of be, just looking at my screen going, fuck, I should have, not gotten supply blocked. So, what did I do? I threw down an extra command center, or sorry, that extra supply depot, so I didn't get supply blocked at this point. Those are kind of little things you want to be looking for when you're trying to fine tune your build. So, here comes a, I believe, 3-gate, a 2-gate. I did with this against a computer just because I, want to fine tune this before I take it online and try this on someone else. But we can safely say that, we would stop any aggression. Obviously, he could go up the ramp, but that would be suicidal for his units, and a smart player, a good player, would not have done that, and that was the correct choice, to just try to poke. But we know, 2 siege tanks, you can siege up and slowly push out the second this finishes. And then I get a barracks, because I'm going to have a lot of money, not enough to do with it. So, just to recap, this is pretty much this video of, what you should be looking for in your builds. You want to make sure, A, you have enough money to throw down that building as soon as possible. If you're not doing a cheese build, you want to be constantly making those SCVs and be able to throw down your buildings when you need to. Obviously, you want to note any timings of when they might push you, when they might aggress you. Like with this, 3:45, that is finished, so you want to start making a barracks so they don't, walk into your base and snipe off any Marines with those stalkers. Another thing is, you don't want to be getting supply blocked. Give your builds like a sort of dry run. Like, I didn't realize this about my build until I tried it the first time, where I ended up getting supply blocked, and I realized I needed that extra supply depot. So I didn't end up getting supply blocked later on. And then, you can just float my expansion out, and bam. So, that's just a sample build. And I hope you guys take these guidelines and try to, adapt it for your own builds. But the thing I want to stress one last time is, builds will not win you games. They could, but generally, once you start getting higher and higher, builds are just sort of, your style, how you want to play this game. And macro and micro will get you farther than, 10 supply depot, 12 barracks, 14 gas will. Good luck, guys.